Welcome to Ondes Africaines. Today's program is an innovation. We are going to do a disco forum on the song that portrays a very powerful message. The song's from the Congo. But before I introduce this panel, let us watch a video clip about the song.
Vala vala Zimbabwe, 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 vala vala Zimbabwe.
Kenge batu bavana yanga mujambu nyantsaka na kindumbe vala 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 Zimbabwe yakina bokolo kolukali salisi lelo na komina pasi ngaina lela na nani na bota na pasi bana bakoli na pasi lelo na nyoko minzoto ngaina lela na nani vala 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 Zimbabwe, vala 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 Zimbabwe, vala 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 Zimbabwe, vala vala Zimbabwe, vala vala. Na bala na pasi, libale kuvina pasi, bana bakomi kontele ngana ngaina lela na nani vala vala Zimbabwe, vala vala Zimbabwe, vala vala Zimbabwe, vala vala Zimbabwe, vala vala Zimbabwe. Kinshasa, 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 vala vala Zimbabwe.
Welcome back. I hope you have enjoyed the music. Now, I'm going to ask my guests here to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about them.
My name is Donna Hakimian. I'm a historian and women's rights activist. I'm really happy to be here. I've had the chance to be in Africa one time in the Gambia, and my great-grandfather also lived there, and it's really nice to be able to come here and talk a little bit about music and the Baha'i faith and to draw closer to a culture that's very close to my heart.
My name is Alicia. I am from Toronto currently, but I spend a lot of time in Tanzania, East Africa, where my heart really is. And I'm a musician, harpist and pianist and vocalist. And I'm really excited to be here together, again sharing about the Baha'i faith and also really learning from the music of the Congo and just basking in the love and warmth of that music.
Hi, my name is Reza Mostmand, and I'm from Toronto, but just like what everybody said, we have a close relationship with Africa and the music of Africa, as we have seen shortly before, of what a joy that it expresses through the music. And we all have so much to learn from that joy and that spirit of that music and that land altogether.
Wow, that's great. Well, you guys are so diverse backgrounds. It's great. So tell me, you mentioned that you guys are Baha'is. So what is the Baha'i faith?
Sure. Well, I'll introduce just very briefly. The Baha'i faith is a world religion whose central purpose is to unite all the peoples and races of the world in one common faith and one universal cause. Baha'is are the followers of Baha'u'llah, who they feel is the promised one of all ages. So many religions have talked about this time in which peace and harmony will exist among the people. And they believe, Baha'is believe that Baha'u'llah has brought the message to make this possible. And a really important principle in the Baha'i faith is the oneness of mankind. So no matter what race, class, color, gender you are, you're all created from one God, and you're all united because you're essentially one in essence.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Africa, 'cause I miss you. Mama, Africa. I want to praise you. Africa.
So, about the Baha'i faith, like you talked about the oneness of it, right? So, like, can you just elaborate on that a little more? Like, what do you mean by like oneness?
Sure. Well, I think it's kind of like flowers in a garden. That's an example that's very easy for me to understand. That the more diverse the flowers, the more beautiful the garden. But either of you two have any?
Well, in that same example, if we go to a garden with the same flowers, we'll see that it has a certain look. But going to a garden next to it with all sort of colors and fragrance, it will have a different. So oneness means to celebrate our differences in the sense that everybody and every culture has something to offer into the family of humanity.
So the Baha'i faith, it sounds like a very, very interesting religion. So I wanted to know, do you guys believe in music in your faith?
I'll let them answer, the two musicians, so go ahead.
Yes.
Do we believe in music? Of course. The Baha'i faith is one of the many world religions, and we know that every religion talks about the spiritual nature of the human being, that we have these souls, and that so our nature is not only material. It's not just about our body. We're here really for a very short time, and our real existence, our real home, is the worlds to come. And so we know from the Baha'i writings that music is like a ladder from which the souls can ascend into these spiritual worlds. So it's really praised and encouraged in our faith.
And then again, going back to the video that we just saw, and we can really see the joy that music can offer or should offer to the world, really. And I think that is the some sort of an upliftment of the soul, that not only the musicians themselves, but the people that hear it take benefit of that art form.
And I'll just share quickly, but this is an important point, that the founder of the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah, was imprisoned and exiled, and he suffered so profoundly to bring this message of love and unity. And even when he was in prison, what was called the most great prison, in a situation of there's filth on the ground, it's completely dark, and all around him is this most awful situation with such heavy chains on his neck that his blessed neck broke under that weight. Even under those conditions, those prisoners would sing. And they would sing so loudly that in the surrounding area, people would hear them, and they were so shocked. Why are these prisoners so happy and joyful that they are singing? And I think this shows that the kind of place that music is in the community that Baha'u'llah, the promised one, would sing when he suffered so much.
And parallel to that, maybe you can say the sufferings that our Congolese brother throughout the civil war, or the history has shown what they have gone through, and yet there is like nightingales in the cage that are really warbling their melodies, and this is a great message to the entire world, I think, of what energy comes out of their music, what joy.
Africa, 'cause I miss you. I want to praise you. Africa.
So, welcome back to the program. Today we are talking a little bit about the Baha'i faith, and we're also talking about music and the profound concepts that music beholds. So, I wanted to know, what was your opinion on the music that was just played?
My opinion? Well, I loved it, for one. I was sitting in my seat, like, dancing. There was so much spirit to the music, so much joy. It reminded me of growing up in Tanzania, because the Congolese music is loved like crazy. There's a refugee camp actually in Tanzania, in Kigoma. And the people have suffering, but their music is so joyous, so beautiful. They tour all around Tanzania, and the Tanzanian Baha'i friends just can't get enough of this music. So it brought me back to that. I was very happy, joyful listening to it. It was beautiful.
Wow, that's great. Would you like to say something
Well,
about it?
I was saying that the language is one thing, to understand it and the meaning, and also the music itself, which is understood by anyone, is also another thing that touched me personally,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, Donna, tell me, I wanted to know, basically, what triggered your attention most in the music that was just played?
Well, the song was really aesthetically beautiful. Also, the images of kind of the weaving and all the kind of different sights and sounds of that culture. There was also a sort of dimension of this woman that had really been suffering, and it's, kind of hard to understand. I didn't really maybe know what the entire story was, but then later it was explained to us about what had happened to her. And so, there was some sorrow mixed in there, but again, this consonant air of triumph. So this country that it's been mentioned, but torn apart by war, but again, the human spirit and the spirit of these people to rejoice, to sing, to know their creator, despite the outside politics of influencing this country, of whatever may be happening. The unifying dimension was just this voice that stays. So.
Oh, it's beautiful. So I wanted to know, what do you guys think the title of the song, what's the meaning of it? The title is Kinshasa.
It was explained to us that it means what for? And I was like, what is this that's happening? And I think that phrase could be used for a lot of things that are happening in the world right now. People are asking why. What is happening? What is this suffering? That's what I understood by the term.
What do you think the message of the song, do you think it could be translated differently?
Well, I think there's one part of this song that was explained to us after, that the woman who suffered, there was a lot of jealousy that meant that she was being beaten and a victim of oppression by other women in her city. So that's part of the meaning, I think, of the song, that this type of jealousy is not conducive to unity in the community. And it was speaking to that, like, why do we have to treat each other this way? Can't we have a more dignified way of interacting with our fellow human beings? So I think that was part of the song as well.
Tanya, would you like to share something about that?
Sure. Well, I think I initially actually heard this song on the CD version, and then later I saw the video. And when I first heard it, it's just this name of this city that you've heard on the news, you've heard, and my real exposure came again just from popular media, the things you see here and there on news outlets. But then to hear a Congolese person call their city out, it just was sort of like a love cry, in the same way that as a Baha'i I can't return to Iran, but Tehran, the city of my birth, in the same way I call it out sometimes in my dreams, when I pray. So it was just, you know, a love cry of the people for their city. And then later we found out it had other meanings.
Yeah, it's very uplifting. It's a beautiful song. So we're going to take another quick break here. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Africa, 'cause I miss you. Mama Africa, I want to praise you. Africa.
Okay, welcome back to the show, guys. Today we are doing a disco forum about a specific song, and it comes from the Congo. So I want to know, do you guys have anything else to add on to the previous question that was asked?
There's one more thing. Yeah, I think it was really significant that in the song, they showed people at their daily tasks, working to make a living, working to pull their families forward in the prosperity of their community, and specifically the polishing of this wood and the making of these chairs. I think it was really beautiful to show that aspect of the traditional culture. And in the Baha'i writings, work done in the spirit of work done in the spirit of service is elevated to this idea of worship. So if we're really working and helping our communities advance, and that's all done with the most pure intentions, it's also like worshiping our Creator.
It's beautiful. So I wanted to know, why do you guys like this music? Like, what makes you guys like this music?
Other than the joy that it was expressed, I think it was so real, especially the life that was shown through the hard work of people. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Kinshasa, but I've been to the east of Congo, and that hard work within people also manifests itself in that region. So that really stood out for me, other than the joy in the music.
I think almost anybody, if they're okay and not unwell, will like this song. Because basically, we are all human beings who have spirits and souls which resonate with such joyful, uplifting music. And so I think that's partly why we love this song, because we are all members of the human race, and we all have a spirit and a soul that's uplifted by things like music.
How about you, Donna?
Well, as I said early in the program, a few years back I was in Banjul in the Gambia, and similar kind of sounds and you know, expressions of the human heart were produced through music. And I've never been to the Congo. I hope to go one day, but it just took me back to that land, that beautiful red earth, and really just connected me with these people that I got off the plane, and you know, for my entire life I heard that when you go to Africa, you leave your heart behind. And I said, oh, you know, that's just these people. And it happened to me too. So anything that draws me closer back to that continent makes me very happy.
So I'm going to have you guys perform a song, but before we perform the song, I wanted to know if you guys could explain the meaning of it.
Well, this is a song that I learned in Tanzania from a man named Rashidi from the Congo. And it's in the Congolese language Lingala, which I do not speak. I speak Swahili, but I don't speak Lingala. But the general meaning of the song is praising the wonders of the coming of the promised one, which we know, as Donna mentioned at the very beginning, that in all the world's religious traditions, we've known that there will be this promised one and this promised time when we can have peace and harmony. And the song is joyfully celebrating that time.
Sahel.